So I'm delighted to say, joining us for the very first time on the We Are West Ham podcast is Rob Morgan, West Ham fan, content creator, Billericay boy, general, social media content extraordinaire. Rob, great to have you on the show for the first time. We're trying something a little bit different this year. We'd like to chat to former players, and every now and then we'll get a few, high-profile, well-known West Ham fans on, if we can, just to tell everyone the story a little bit. First of all, how are you getting on? How's life treating you? What do you think of the Bournemouth game at the weekend? We'll go into that in a bit more detail.
Yeah, good. I mean,
how's it going?
Yeah, I think it's important. Yeah, I'm doing good. Thanks for having me on. It's just important we don't lose the high of the European Cup. I think people so quickly just slating Moyes. It's like, hang on a minute, like a couple of months ago, if you would have said West Ham are going to win a European trophy, you'd bite your hand off for it. And now we're already just getting into pessimism and negativity, and I find football fans just annoying. It's so fickle, football fans. It's like, as far as I'm concerned, Moyes can go when he wants. That's as far as I'm concerned. But it's all right. We'll be all right. Rob, it'll be all right.
You sound like the sort of guy for this podcast. But look, just before we get into all the nitty gritty West Ham stuff,
that wasn't like a friendly intro. That was straight into it.
No, straight in, balls deep. Yeah, that's what we like. Yeah. But just quickly to let people know, the reason you're on the podcast this week is through no other reason that as the host and as the guest booker on the We Are West Ham podcast, I get to sort of decide, and I'm in charge of who comes on. And ultimately, it all come from your Twitter account at Robbie Morgs, I think it is. And I remember seeing a couple of your videos ages ago now, probably been a few months ago, and they're absolutely hilarious. Basically, sum up to those listening. We've got one to play in a minute. Sum up, sort of, give us a brief synopsis of what people can expect or what you do.
Well, a lot of them are football videos, but a lot of them are nostalgic, like from that 2000s era. I like to do a lot of them and just do kind of funny sketches using old classic play and like times in Premier League history, and like writing sketches of that, like Woodgate and Gravison going to Real Madrid and the Boya Dyer fiasco, all that era. That's how I remember football. That's like the golden age of football. So I just write mainly for me, to be honest. I create like videos just for me and what I would like to watch, and it's very niche, very dry, and But if you get it, you get it.
Yeah, well, let's give people I'm without main tech op Jonesy here, so I'm going to try and see if I can seamlessly add in the audio for the podcast listeners and the video for those watching on YouTube from one of your more recent ones. And one of my favourite videos that you've put up on your Twitter. Correct me if I'm wrong. This was titled Harry Maguire turning up for his first West Ham training session.
Yeah, this is Maguire's first training session. A bit more of the modern era, but
okay. Right, let's see how this works. The video's up. I'm hovering over the play icon. If this works, James Jones, eat your high. You're not needed on the podcast again. Right, 2 secs.
That's Maggie's. You got it. Oh, good. Oh. Maguire's on fire. He's getting stuck in. We're going higher. Maguire's on fire. Another header. Goal denier. I'm not stealing your song, Jared. It's just a song that I'm singing. Don't worry. I'm not going to steal your song, man. Just got here. But, like, hypothetically, if the fans warm to the one that I just sung, maybe there's room for both, Jared. Maybe there's... No? Okay. All right. That's Maggie's. Good. You got it. All
right, listen, it's absolutely fantastic, right? And what we'll do, we'll play out we'll play another couple, and when we play out, we'll play the David Sullivan working out how to spend the day.
That's a good one,
It was a two-parter as well, and
two-part. And I was tempted, depending on Paquetá, the situation. Depending if we get a load of money for that, I was tempted to do part 3 as well. So.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, look, we'll play that one out at the end. So worth carrying on listening. Do go and follow Rob on Twitter at Robbie Morgs for more of that stuff. It's not just football or West Ham stuff, but there are some seriously funny videos on there. I think the one you've got pinned to your Twitter profile is the Bounty explaining to the rest of the celebrations why he's been kicked out.
Yeah, when Bounty, that's the most popular one. When the Bounty got cut and he's thinking of other options, like he's got way more irons in the fire than celebrations. He's way bigger than celebrations. They're going to regret letting him go, you know.
Yeah. Lindor knocking on the door. Listen, it's funny stuff. But look, Rob, let's talk about West Ham. Then you're like me, and a six hammer.
Yes.
Grew up just down the road from me. I've learnt this morning in Billericay. Loads of you listening will obviously know, and from that neck of the woods. How'd you get into West Ham in the first place then?
Wow, it was definitely at school, and there was a definite choice. I remember you can either support Arsenal or West Ham, and I mean, this is when I was like 5 or 6, but for some reason I picked West Ham. Like my dad wasn't a fan, but there wasn't anything peculiar about West Ham. And then, my first match was, I think, Southampton when Rio scored a header in like 98, I think. But lots of friends supported Hammers, and my friend had a season ticket, so I'd go with him a lot. But yeah, really, that when we won the Intertoto Cup and like that era, like Di Canio, Sebastian Schemmel,
Schemmel, what a
Canute
player.
Schemmel was unreal, wasn't it? And then I started going a lot when we went down the first time with Pardew, sat in Centenary. Great, but that's pretty much it.
Those who sat in there, it sounds like you're probably literally only a year or two behind me, I imagine. I think my first full season ticket was that first championship year. I used to share one with my cousin for a couple of seasons before. And it's that mid-late 90s. I'll talk about it all the time. If you ask any of my mates, my West Ham mates, my top 5 West Ham players, they will know that obviously Paolo's in there, but Sebastian Schemmel and Thomas Repka are two of the most iconic
because it's that era, isn't it? That era was so good.
Yeah, of course.
My favorite, my first favorite player was Paul Kitson.
Really? That's rogue, mate.
Yeah. Is it really?
To be fair, yeah, of course it's rogue. Yeah. But then those who sat in the Centenary stand were kind of a different breed of West Ham fans. You know what I mean? Everyone knows that.
Was he? Yeah, chicken. Was it chicken
family
run?
enclosure?
No, chicken cop, chicken coop. That was
the chicken run.
Mental.
Upper tier of the East Stand. Yeah. I'm a little bit quiet, but yeah, everyone knows that. You know, you had the main stand was basically the tourist, wasn't it? The Dr. Martin stand. You had the Bobby Moore where the diehard sat. The East Stand was all a little bit more polite, but the Centenary, just an odd bunch in the Centenary, I found. Apart from Chav Corner, of course. Remember Chav Corner?
Hello, Chav. Oh, hello, Chav something.
That's right. Just signal dipped out a bit. James will edit it out.
Yeah.
Do you remember Chav
something?
No, Centenary. Yeah,
Chav Corner. No, but I remember the Centenary was where you had the away fans right below, right? The away fans were right below the upper Centenary, weren't they? They were on the So we was right above the away fans. Yeah.
I think that's official family enclosure you were there.
Well, yeah, it was. I mean, I was with a family. They did. I was with. This is when I'm like, 12, 13. I was with a family.
You weren't expecting all this disparaging content, were you, from me?
No. But it was all right. But yeah, I definitely prefer Upton Park to the new stadium. New stadium is very hard to, in terms of atmosphere. It's just different. It's way more. The whole stadium is Centenary, London. No, it's basically a one big centenary stand.
Maybe you're right.
They're all tourists. Look, they're all family. Yeah.
Yeah, it is a bit. Mixed in with. I think it's a completely different experience, right? And I'll sort of argue that. Obviously, you lose all the history, and it all just feels a little bit more modern and corporate. Everyone knows that. But then you take me back to that Sevilla at home game in the Europa League, and I don't think I've been to a better West Ham game for atmosphere in my life. A couple of the games we beat Chelsea early on. There've been some great games there, and I find
you go to the Sevilla game.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I mean, that was iconic, wasn't it? And I just find some of the atmosphere chat is from people who, I don't know, either don't go or don't remember going to Upton Park when West Ham were rubbish. It was like, I remember going to watch West Ham nil, Walsall nil, or I think we drew 0-0 at home with Bristol City on a Tuesday night. You can't tell me that place was rocking then. It was absolutely bleak. But what do you make of it at the moment, Rob?
Yeah, like as far as I'm concerned, like we just won a European trophy. Like Moyes can stay for as long as he likes, and I find it so infuriating. Football fans, we got to get him out. Like this is not good. Like just remember, West Ham was in the Championship, and we was fighting for relegation for many seasons. And like if Moyes, if you said you're going to win a European trophy in like 2-3 years, you would have taken that. And just think it's we are where we obviously Declan's gone. But I think we'll be all right. I think there's enough there. And like West Ham fans, like we don't expect a lot. Just as long as we're there, as long as we're playing right.
They do though. There's some people do, don't they? Like those fans you're talking about. Look, I'm with you, mate.
Maybe the new breed. I think the new breed do. Like the new generation. But for me, like I think. Yeah, if we're going for Europe, if we're thereabouts. I'm not really bothered. But I think you've got to give Moyes just won a trophy. You've got to stop being, let him just. I think he can go whenever he wants, really, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, I'll be honest, mate. I see people far older than me and you bleating on about David Moyes. I know you say it's a younger generation, but. Yeah, I see plenty of supposed grown men like absolutely tearing what hair they've got left out.
Who are you going to replace him with? Like, who are you going to put there instead? And who's going to do a much, much better job,
No, I tend to agree, but I used to hate that when people used to say that about Sam Allardyce. I'd be like, well, I don't care. Like, get the tea lady in to do it because I can't watch this football anymore. And I understand that's how some people feel about David Moyes a little bit, but no, I'm totally with you. I do accept that there are, but I just find it funny when you say like, West Ham fans don't expect much. It feels like these days, and look, Twitter's part of it, right? If you go on Twitter every day, then that is what you will start to believe West Ham fans are like. Actually, most West Ham fans who just go to the games, pay their money, go and have a beer and a burger with their mates are a little bit more level-headed, I find, to be quite honest. It's not all clickbaity, just looking for clout. I hate him. He's a scumbag. Get rid of him just because, we come 13th, which is like our average Premier League position over the last 20 years or whatever.
Yeah, when I say I don't expect a lot,
no, I totally agree.
I just think like we're not going to compete for the title. That's what I mean with that. Like we're not going to be up there with Man City, Liverpool's. Just manage our expectations a little bit.
Yeah, but I think like last time when it was Moyes was looking at going right, realistically, Brendan Rodgers might have taken the job. And fair enough. But he's gone to Celtic. Again, I know they're a big club, but the actual quality of football and stuff, that is a job tier down from.
Definitely, it's a much easier league, isn't it?
Well, yeah. I just find it a little bit peculiar. I do also think there are times where you just got to stop the rot when stuff gets bad and if the players are kicking off and all that sort of stuff. But I find it, if you take the last 3 seasons, basically, and all of the elements, i.e. cup performance and league.
Mhm.
We've had
Mhm.
2 out of 3 really good league seasons, and
Mhm.
3 really good like
Cup runs.
performances in the cup competitions, or as in 3
Mhm. Mhm.
qualifications for Europe. Like, I
Mhm.
just I
Mhm. I
find
know.
it a bit baffling. But I say all that, and I've got a feeling that he won't be there by the end of the season.
I think, yeah, I agree. I think you'll just get sick of it, like the fans just getting on. But he's done a great job. I think he's like, and I'm really glad for David. The best thing I'm really glad about is that it just redeemed his whole Manchester United saga. Like, actually, him being at West Ham actually
And Sunderland and Real
rebuilt
Sociedad.
and yeah. Yeah, it wasn't just Man United; it was quite downwards.
Yeah.
But at least he's got a bit of dignity again. He's actually credible again. So I'm happy for him for that.
I'm inclined to agree with you on that. But what did you make of the Bournemouth game then at the weekend, Rob? I just
1-1.
We spoke on the podcast last week and said it feels silly calling the first game of the season a must win. But with the games we've got coming up, as well, really could have done with 3 points there. That's not how it played out.
No, yeah, it's good to get off. The 3 points on the opening game. It's just it puts it in a much positive. People are a lot more positive. But I think we should have won it, don't we? Yeah, it's just. I mean, but it's better than last season. Was a terrible start, wasn't it? I think we lost like 5 or 6 on the balance. But yeah, it's early to judge. I think I know it's away from home too, but yeah, but we should be winning that. But I'm not too bothered. I'm not. I mean, give it a good run of like 10 games before you start making judgments, I think. And yeah, did Bowen play up top for that one, or was he on the wing still?
Well, that's what Moyes was saying afterwards, wasn't it? That he's considering using Jared Bowen as an out-and-out striker. It's like, well, sign one. How about just sign one and play him in the position he's clearly good in? Like, yeah, get rid of the 34-year-old right back you've been shoehorning into the centre forward position for 5-6 years or whatever. Apply another centre forward and try and keep hold of one for more than 12 months. Ridiculous.
Yeah, but it's interesting. Like, both Haller and Scamacca just have not been able to. I don't know. I prefer Bowen on the wing, definitely. I think his pace, and I think you need someone to, especially if it's just one up top, you need someone to hold up the ball a lot. That's why I think Antonio's good. But Antonio's on the way out, apparently, to Saudi Arabia, I think. But yeah, I don't know. It's interesting. Like, yeah, but we can never find a good out and out striker in recent years. Just for whatever reason, and spending a lot of money on people that don't get to play. I don't know if there's a difference between the board and what the manager. I don't know if Moyes was really after Scamacca. I don't know how it works in terms of transfers. Like, who's calling the shots? Like, who is Moyes saying? I want an out and out striker. I don't know. There must be that communication breakdown or something. I don't know who has that decision, but. We could do better than Bowen. Bowen's way much better on the right, on the wing.
Of course, yeah. It's just classic, isn't it? It's like our best player last season. So don't change that bit. Like, focus on. It's like, yeah, you definitely need a striker. Don't just go because he's good, we'll play him up front. It doesn't work like that. He's good as a right winger, so buy someone who's good as a striker. Yeah.
And so who's going to be on the right? Is it Sofal going to be on the right now if Bowen goes up top? Like, who's going to be on the right?
He won't play that far forward, will he? I don't think. I'm not sure. I don't really know. You've got Said Benrahma and then Pablo Fornals in those wing positions, depending if Paqueta stays around. It just all seems a little bit backward, if you ask me, to be quite frank. What do you... We signed James Ward-Prowse this morning. That's been announced.
Oh, is that confirmed?
That's been
confirmed?
confirmed this morning. Yeah, it's
Oh,
the first
nice.
thing I woke
That's
up to,
good.
which was good news. 30 million
Good.
quid from Southampton. So, what do you make of that one then? I'm a little bit concerned about his gameplay. I know he's really good at set pieces. That's what everyone keeps talking about. I'm not overly certain
Mhm.
how he fits in. He seems a little bit slight, and Southampton fans will tell you he needs quick, athletic players around him. And we're going to have Thomas
Oh,
Suchek
really? Okay.
playing alongside him.
Oh, God.
Well, what do you make of that signing then?
I do like it. I like James Ward-Prowse. I like that he's got leadership ability. Like, we've just lost Declan. I think it's good to have more leaders in the dressing rooms. But I think most of the transfer strategy, it always feels like there's not a lot of thought, though. Like, it just feels, in terms of fitting in, just get a name because it's a name. Like, I feel there's a desperation just to get some people. I feel the board are under pressure a lot because we've had so much money from Declan. It's like we've got to get something, but there's not a lot of thought, into the actual tactics. But I mean, in terms of James Ward-Prowse as a player, I think he's good. But again, it's just, I think with a lot of clubs, it's just we're so much pressure to get something over the line. They just buy needless players. But I think he'll do well. But yeah, again, I don't know how he's going to fit into it. And
No, I do agree. I just think it's a bit infuriating, isn't it? It's like everyone and their dog has known Declan Rice was leaving this summer. You know what I mean? They have, haven't they? It's just like it's almost like it's just a surprise that there's £100 million just like landed in their bank account or whatever. It's like everyone knew he was going. Like, have you not like had someone ready to go? Oh, Alvarez, to be fair, I think he's a really good signing, and he does sort of replace.
He's confirmed as well. He's confirmed.
Yeah, that's done. Yeah. So,
but he's the same position, right? Same position.
Yeah, exactly. But at least it's a like-for-like replacement. It's like you clearly, like, if Cresswell's going to go, Emerson, obviously a decent player, so you need cover at left back and you need another striker again. Like, plan for these things. I know it was busy last season, but like everyone else manages to, it just does my head in a little bit. Chelsea this weekend, Rob. What are you expecting? Are you going? What are you expecting from the game?
No, I'm not going. But you just never know with Chelsea, really. Like the amount of money. I mean, they're the pure example of just buying anybody and just fitting it in, just throwing money at a problem. But I think it's up for grabs. It's up for grabs because you just don't know what team is going to turn up. And I think. I think it's a good chance. I mean, where did Casado? Did he go to Chelsea in the end, or Liverpool?
I think that's literally being announced or it will be announced today. I think they've agreed the deal. Was the news overnight, late last night. They agreed £115 million deal, and then he's having a medical today, and he'll be announced. But again, is he £10 million better than Declan Rice? I don't think so. But yeah, that's just the way the world.
The whole market is. I think the whole market is just completely out of whack. I don't know what I'm trying to think when it. I mean, the Neymar deal when he went to PSG, I think that was quite. That set a new precedent. But I think, recently in this year, just everything is so out of whack now. But I don't know. You just don't know what Chelsea teams could. But it annoys me that they've got to get done for FFP, sure. Like, they can't just spread out players' contracts over 10, 8, 9 years. Like,
yeah, well, Caicedo signed an 8-year deal with the option of a 9th. He is 21. It's like, what?
How is he going to know where he's around? I'm not a fan of Todd Bowley. I think he's just throwing money. There's no thought, But I wouldn't be. I don't know. Yeah, I think it's up for grabs. I think, and it's at home, so yeah. Who knows?
Yeah, exactly, mate. Yeah, exactly. Look, what have you? With all the, what do you think? First of all, we'll have a quick chat about your future plans, your content and stuff. I do encourage people to go and follow you on Twitter because it's seriously fun stuff. What are your hopes and expectations for this season? Is it, just tell me what you would be happy with, because you seem quite a level-headed West Ham fan. Apart from the fact that you seem to like Antonio, which Always
I
makes me
love
mistrust the man.
Antonio. I love Antonio. I mean, the amount of times people would just bounce off him, and like he was so good at holding
Including the
the
ball.
up. I think. Yeah. But I think he played such a big part in that COVID season when no one could go to the games, and like he was under Pellegrini, he was the only player working a lot of the time, and like I really Antonio will always have a place in my heart. But
I totally get that, mate. But Paolo Di Canio was good in the early 2000s, but I don't want him playing up front this season. Trevor Brooking was really good in 1980, but I don't want him playing on the left midfield. Like, I understand what you mean, but Antonio is past his sell-by date. I mean, he scored.
But he's West Ham's all-time leading scorer, right?
Yeah, because he's played in the Premier League. Yeah, because he's played there for ages. Like he is. It's not like he's come in and smashed the goal like 30 goals a season. He's just belligerently played up front for a very long time and scored 10 goals a year. And he scored like 2 or 3 goals last season. That is not okay for a Premier League centre forward. Not having it.
Well, anyway,
but what are your expectations for this season? Hopes and expectations. What do you think's a reasonable target for West Ham?
Okay, I think we're going to have that. But you know, when a club loses their best player and they sometimes get a little boost. I don't know why, but sometimes I feel like when clubs lose their best player, the expectations drop a bit and they actually get a little boost. So I wouldn't be surprised if we play all right without Declan. But yeah, I do think Moyes will get sick of it towards the end. I wouldn't be surprised. This is last season. But in terms of, I mean, we're in the UEFA Cup again, aren't we? So I think if we get out of the group stages in that would be great.
Premier League finish?
And then I would say, I mean, 7th or 8th would be good again, I think, for me. 7th or 8th. Because I just think there's a lot of, I mean, you've got Newcastle. There's a lot. It's not a top 4 now. It's like a top 6, top 7, isn't it? So, like, it's getting harder to get into that top bracket now. 7th, 8th, I think I'd be happy with.
Happy days. Yeah, best of the rest situation. Listen, Rob, it's been absolutely great having you on the show for the first time. What are your what have you got sort of plans for the account and stuff? Because like I said to you, when I first saw one of your videos, absolutely cracking up. Went on the profile, expecting you to have like 250,000 followers. Not the case, but definitely growing, mate. Definitely growing. And I encourage people to go over at Robbie Morg on Twitter. What's the plan? What's the long term?
I think just keep doing the vids and keep pushing myself in terms of comedic value and weirdness and dryness, but keep doing the vids and then try and build it up a bit. At some point maybe try and transfer it to a live kind of thing. I mean, that's a bit in the future, but just keep doing the vids and keep making them better and get the right people liking them. I'm not so much bothered about amount of followers, but like to get people I respect and the right people finding them funny. That'll be great. You know, that'd be great. And just keep doing
You're welcome to say that I'm one of those people if you like.
Yes, you are. Well, you are.
There we go. Thank you. Blimey. Any danger, mate?
More wheels. I need more wheels.
Quite. You're the first person ever to say that in their life, having met me. But listen, Rob, it's been an absolute pleasure. At Robbie Morgs on Twitter, go and follow him. He's in the We Are West Ham podcast followers list and all that sort of stuff. But you'll find him anyway if you search him. And I guarantee you'll be scrolling and watching all the videos deep into the profile like I've done. And Rob, it's great having you. Quickly, what's the score going to be against Chelsea?
2-1 Hammers.
2-1 Hammers, and we'll play you out with another one of Rob's masterpieces, which is David Sullivan working out how to spend the Declan Rice money.
So what's that? 95, 105 mil. Yeah, no, invest it in the squad. Yeah, but have I ever spoke to you guys about Hammerworld? Yeah, Knock Through Westfields, West Ham theme park, like all different West Ham rides, and I mean it's just an idea. I'm just spitballing here, but off the top of my head, we could have the Repka Rapids, Thomas Repka, yeah, Julian Falbert Banana Boat. That's not an innuendo or anything. Avram Death Drop, like that's an 80-foot tower, and it just like drops you from a bit like when we got relegated, just drops you straight, and it's just like free fall. The Ricardo Vaz Cups, that's not as good, but like we could have loads of shows and stuff. Get the Hammerettes back, not the ones back then, but like new, young, fit ones. We could, Carl Jenkinson on loan from Arsenal. It's Carl Jenkinson just walking about the park, and he's agreed to it too. So yeah, I think there's huge potential. Like we shouldn't just look at the money and look at buying players. That's all I'm saying. So yeah, back to Hammerland. You go through the entrance, and there's like this 50-foot robot of James Tompkins, and he's like, "Welcome to Hammerland." I am like loads of bubbles coming out of his. I am forever blowing bubbles. And then you go past the Canio Scissors ride. You get to the Conchescanator. Yeah, the Conchescanator. Basically, that's like recreating the FA Cup final goal. Like you're in this supersized football, and you're strapped in, and you just get like flung. And you think you're going towards Marlon Harewood, but you actually end up in the goal. Yeah, it could be really good, I think. And then I've got what else? I've got the Milk Shaka stand, like just milkshakes, but served by Shaka Hislop, just because he's struggling at the minute for like punditry work and stuff. And then the Big Sam bus tour. Basically, it's a bit like the Jurassic Park ride in Universal, but like you get on it and it takes you all the way through. It's parked. Yeah, and you just sit on it whilst it's parked. I mean, that's like an 85-minute ride. Like if you want to do that, do it early, I think. And the Carlton Cole Castle, just like helps you with promotion, like there's career advisors in there and stuff. But like I think as soon as we get that first installment, we should really sign off on this. Like this has got so much potential.